After seeing the subsidiary books for goods, that is purchase book, sales book, purchase return, sales return, let's now move forward with the bills and the books related to bills, that is subsidiary books of bills. Here we have two books, bills which are receivable and bills which are payable. Now the book which is written, the subsidiary book which is written for the receivables is known as the subsidiary book for bills receivable, and that book which is written for the bills payable is known as the subsidiary book for bills payable. Well, bills are those objects or those documents which are written by the seller who gives a credit period to his customers for the payment of the money for his sale or any kind of financial transaction. Means a time period, a credit period is given by the seller, and for that, as a proof, a document is prepared where the amount, the date, the time period and whatever conditions has to be written is written on that bill and is sent to the customer. The customer accepts the bill and returns it back with a signature of readiness to pay the amount on the bill within the time period mentioned in the bill. This is the bills receivable for the person writing the bills. That is, for example, Mr. A is the seller. He is writing a bill towards Mr. B. He is the customer. Okay. And here A is the seller. Then Mr. A will write the bill towards Mr. B, and B will accept the bill and then return it back to Mr. A. In this sense, the bill sent to Mr. B is his receivable. Bill receivable. So, whenever Mr. A makes such receivables, gives bills to his customer, he will record all those bills in his subsidiary book for bills receivable. That is known as subsidiary book for bills receivable. Means the seller is writing a note for the payment of money from his customers for after a period of time by giving him some credit period. So let's see the specimen of bills receivable book. Now here is a specimen of the bills receivable. First of all, the bills receivable book of Shri. This is common for every book. Then in the first column we have to write the bill number. Whatever the number of is written on the bill, that is to be written over here. The date of bill and its receipt, right, when it is when it will be received and all those things. Then name of the acceptor, whomsoever it is accepted by them. Then the period of bill, for what time, like 2 months or 3 months, whatever the period, that is to be written here. If there is any kind of condition that if it is paid by this many months, then cash discount is available or whatever, the condition is to be written over here. Then date of maturity, the last date, it has to be counted. Like if it is 3 months from today, then the exact date on which the 3 months ends, that has to be written over here. Then the ledger folio number, place of payment, where it is to be paid, like if it is in the bank, through the bank or directly in the office, that has to be written here. Amount, and in the remarks column, it is to be written that the details of its use or the disposal of the bill has to be shown over here in this remarks column. For example, if the bills are discounted in bank, or if it is endorsed in favor of any creditor, anything, such kind of remarks have to be written over here. Fine. Now, when in this example, let's take this example, when Mr. A as a seller had sent a bill to Mr. B, who is a customer, he accepted it and gave it back to Mr. A. For A, that bill is receivable, but For Mr. B, it is payable. Right? So Mr. B, in his book of account, he will note that bill in the name of bills payable account, or in the subsidiary book of bills payable, as he is the one who is liable to pay the amount on the bill. So for Mr. B, it is payable amount which is to be noted down in the bills payable subsidiary book. Now let's also see the specimen of bills payable book. Now here is the specimen of bills payable book. Again here the bills payable book of Shri has to be mentioned before. In the first column, again the bill's number has to be recorded, then the date of acceptance, when the bill was accepted to have been paid through this method of bills. Then who is the drawer, who has returned the bill on us, like to whom we have to pay, that person's name should be written over here. Then the date of the bill, it will be written. The period of the bill, as I said earlier, for how many months or how many days or how many years, that has to be written over here. If there is any kind of condition, like if paid within 15 days, there will be cash discount, or there will be any kind of discount or anything, that will be mentioned over here in condition column. Then the date of maturity, the exact date. If suppose after 15 days means the 15th day or the 16th day has to be written over here with the extra grace period also. Then the ledger folio number, then the amount to be payable, and remarks if any, like it is paid to some other customer of the drawer or anything. If any such kind of remark is then, that has to be recorded over here in remarks column. Now after seeing the subsidiary book for bills, that is bills receivable and bills payable, let's move on further with the last two types of subsidiary books, that is of cash book and journal proper. Well, all those transactions which are related to cash, that is cash purchase or cash sales or any other kind of cash related transactions, are recorded in cash book. For instance, sales of rupees 10,000 was done to Mr. C, who paid the amount immediately. Here the sales is done for cash, so it is recorded in the cash book instead of the sales book. Now the cash book is also prepared in three forms. As we have seen for purchase sales books, the cash book is also made in the single or the simple format with only cash column, with two columns for cash and discount or cash in bank, and three columnar for cash, bank and discount. The third type of three columnar cash book is more popular with discount, cash and bank columns. Well, there is another type of cash book known as petty cash book, where the daily expenses relating to the stationery or refreshment or any small amount of expenses which take place on daily basis in a business are recorded. That is known as the petty cash book. Now after seeing the cash book, let's move on further to journal proper. Well, journal proper is that record, book in which the transactions which are not included in the other subsidiary books of the goods and bills and that of cash, that is purchase book, sales book, purchase written book, sales written book, bills receivable book, bills payable book or cash book. In all these 7 kind of books, the transactions which are not included will be written in journal proper. So all adjustments and the closing of the accounts are done in And lastly, the closing amounts or the entries relating to the closure of accounts or the adjustment entries are written in journal proper. So friends, if you have liked my video, please
Let's see
share,
a
and subscribe to
specimen
my
of
channel.
credit
Thank you.
note.